Come on, y'all. Come on in. This is Lady K Motivate. Come on in. Be a virtual seat filler on today. We have an exclusive interview going on. So I just want to go ahead and get the numbers up. Come on, share and tag, share and tag. We have Marcus Green coming on, aka Same OG. He's gonna go ahead and let you all know a little about himself, how he got to where he is, and where he's going, and what he has going on next. So I want you all to please go ahead and tag and share. Somebody needs to be inspired, empowered, and motivated to execute now. So you all just come in. I have his music in the background. You know, we getting crunk for Jesus over here today. So listen, come on in. Come on in. Go ahead and tag your friends. We want you to comment. We want you to share. It is going down right now with Lady K Motivates, Elder Marcus Green. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on in a minute. But I wanted the numbers to be up before we get started. Okay, so y'all come on in. Come on in, y'all. How y'all doing today? We got started a little late today, but that's okay. That is okay. Y'all go ahead and tag a friend, tag a neighbor. Let somebody know that Lady K is on in the building. Elder Marcus Green, he is awaiting you all. He needs a crowd today. So let's come on. There's no crowd control online. Come on, y'all. Come on in. This is one of his songs right here, The Takeover. It's the remix version. But that'll go too, right?
You need help. Let God help you through this.
All right, y'all. We're about to get started in a moment. Y'all just bear with me. Let me go ahead and add. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am so excited to have you on today on Lady K Motivates, where we're all about motivating and executing any individual to their purpose, to their promise, to their next season. So I am excited to have you on. We have our virtual seat fillers today. I am Lady K, and you are.
I'm Marcus Green, aka Same OG. Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to be on with you today.
I am so excited to have you on. It's such an honor. Can you just go ahead and let the people know where you're from and how you got into this music scene?
Okay. Well, I'm from Quincy, Florida. Shout out to Quincy, Gaston County,
All right.
850 area. Uh, from my hood, Shallow. Shout out to Shallow. Can't forget that. Um, I'm a preacher's kid from the anyway.
Okay.
Kind of born into the church before I was into the church. So music was already kind of in me because I was a drummer for my dad's church when he started his church, and
Okay.
I always loved music, but I never thought that I would be in music. But I ended up, kind of ditching the church life, when I kind of got grown, going to the streets. So I actually started rapping when I was in the street life, kind of out in the world. And
Uh, okay.
when God transitioned me back to the church, I gave up all that. I didn't want anything kind of affiliated with my past life. So, I
Mm-hmm.
kind of let all that go. But God, about a year after I came back to the church, year and a half, he started dealing with me about doing the music again, and all I'm thinking to myself, ain't no rapping in the church, you know,
Right.
at least I didn't know about it because I wasn't keeping up with the church. I've only been back for a few years, so
Mm-hmm.
undoubtedly it was some gospel rap going on, but I wasn't privy to it. But anyway, so he kept dealing with me. I'm like, God, and he just spoke to me clearly. He said, if I tell you to do it, I'll make the provisions.
Just go for
So
it, right?
right. So I finally just said yeah, reluctantly. And, I kind of did my first little thing at a little youth service at church, and
Okay,
it just kind of went up from there, and and it
gotcha.
spread by word of mouth, and the youth enjoyed it, and it just picked up speed, and God just kind of reminded me, didn't I tell you? You just do what I called you to do, and so
That's it. That's it.
that's
Well, what keeps you
yeah.
inspired? What keeps you motivated to stay in this vein?
I
Uh,
guess the main thing is probably, well, two things. One is because I know he could have chose anybody to give his gift to. He could have,
that's it.
I'm nobody special, what I'm saying? I didn't do anything, glorious to receive this. So just for the fact he thought enough for me to give me a gift
Mm-hmm.
to use, once I realized that I had that gift. So I use it now passionately because I know he chose me to give it to me. And secondly, because I'm all about ministry and winning souls. You know what I'm saying? And if
Right.
whatever it takes to do my part to help win souls for the kingdom, that's what I'm all about. Because I tell people I went hard in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
I was at the club, on the block. Whatever I was big and bad enough doing out there in the streets, I went hard for it, and I was passionate. So
right.
since he spared me and saved me, and he got a better reward for me, why shouldn't I go hard for him? You know what I'm saying? The same way I was thugging it out for
Mm-hmm.
Satan, why shouldn't I thug it out for God? You know what I'm talking about? It just go overtime.
And that's good because the hustle mentality didn't leave
No.
when you go from the world standards to God standards. The hustle mentality, your motivation, your what they call it, worth ethic, it's
Right.
still there. It's still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't leave. So your
That's it.
genre, what is your genre of music? You're a
I'm a I say gospel rap because I just look at it as I'm preaching to a beat, so to speak. I'm spitting the gospel, but I know
right.
it's classified as like Christian hip hop or um urban inspiration or whatever they call it. I just call it the gospel. However they classify it, it is what it is.
Okay, well, what is your creative process like? How do you write? What do you have to do to get into what you're gonna say, or do you write from experiences or from other people's life? What's that process
Well,
like?
the way I start any process when it comes to me writing, first thing I do, God opens up my mind for one to let me know that some type of creativity is finna happen. So I just say a prayer like, God, give me whatever it is you want me to say on this song, or if I'm getting ready to preach in this message, whatever the case may be. I
Hmm.
start everything by saying, God, you give me what you want me to say, so
And
I can
that.
say exactly what you want me to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Oh,
all my lyrics, all my music comes straight from him, and I just put it together. He uses was already in. See, I have to tell people, God doesn't give you anything special. He gives you the gift, but he uses what you already have in you to manifest that gift. So I didn't
right.
have to get any special training. He just used the experience as my training. So
Mm-hmm.
all my lyrics that he gives me or puts to me, he uses what's already in my brain that I've been through, that I've seen, that I've read in his word, that I've dealt with. And he just gives it to me in a way where in my brain I put it together the way he wants it delivered to the people I'm talking to. He
Right.
wants me to reach.
And I like what you said, the point where you said it's already in you. A lot of people think that you
Yeah.
have to do something extra, but a
Yeah.
lot of what we've been through, a lot of the trials and tribulations and the
Yeah.
experiences, we've already done the on the job training, whether it was
Yes.
right or
Yes.
wrong. God
Yes.
just wants you
Yes.
to be willing. And I believe that's what
Yes.
you got to that point where you just wanted to be willing. You just wanted to be a vessel. You just really wanted
Right.
to be used. So I just want to tell
Right.
anybody that's listening, as you all come on, continue to tag and share, that you don't need anything extra. Nothing extra is needed to follow God, but a willing spirit. And
Listen.
he will, as you follow his path and move forward, he will tell
Yes.
you what to do. He'll bring people in your path. He will talk
Yes.
to you in your inner ear. A lot of people
Yes.
say, "Oh, my conscience told me." No, 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 no. That's the Holy Ghost. It's
That's
not
the
nobody.
Holy Ghost.
That is the Holy Ghost. The teacher
Yep.
used to tell me when I was in school. She used to say, Kalana, she said, "Why did you put that answer, I was like, well, I was just sitting here contemplating. But really, what my first answer was my best answer. And that's what
Yeah,
God saying. Whatever I told you is
that's
always
it.
the best answer. Whatever you already have, it don't need no money. Because what he
That's
gives
it.
is freely. It's
Yes,
freely given. It's freely
yes.
given. I just felt like I need to just tell somebody that a lot of us
Well,
try to think we need to do extra things and we need
yeah, but
go out our way to do something extra, but what God gives you is better than money. It's better than gold. It's wisdom
right,
from on high. It's
right,
supernatural.
right, right.
And he give everybody a different portion of it. But like you said something else that caught my attention. You seek the Father first. You ask him what you want me to do,
That's
how
it.
you want me to say this, what type of beat I need with these
Right,
songs and this
right.
verse. And that's another thing. We always have to ask him, consult with him. Once we
Consult.
consult with God about
Yeah,
our affairs, because he knows about them anyway. He
right. That's
knows
it.
what
That's it.
you want to do, but when you ultimately consult with him, it works out. It's a
It does.
guarantee to work out. It's a guarantee.
Right, right,
I,
right.
I want to,
Listen,
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
oh, no, because I just wanted to throw it and piggyback off what you said. See, a lot of people think that the worst thing about them is what throws them off. But see, what they have to understand, the thing that people say would disqualify you from God using you, that's exactly what He uses to
Right.
qualify you. Like, uh, 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 I can tell a crackhead why he shouldn't be smoking crack. I ain't never smoked crack. And
Mhm.
I can tell them based off what I read, but it takes a real ex crackhead that's been delivered to really touch the soul of that crackhead who's suffering. Because now I can tell you in detail, like, this is what I struggle with, this is what I suffered with, this how I
Mhm.
know you can beat it because God. So I can relate to certain people because I've been there, done a lot of that stuff. So when they hear me, my testimony live, or they hear me talking, they were thinking like, man, he did that and did that. You got to think about it. Some of the worst people in the Bible God used, even from Saul to Paul. He
That's
was one
it.
of the most killers of the Christians back in the day, but God turned him around and used him. So yeah, you used to sell drugs. Yeah, you probably was, a
Mhm.
prostitute. Whatever you were does not stop you from being what God can called you to be.
Right.
Stop
Exactly.
dwelling on who you were and worry about who he see you as. Because he
Right.
see you different than what you see yourself. But he's gonna take that experience to help you transform and help somebody else come out of what they're in also.
And a lot and again to piggyback on what you said, when you come to Christ, your name is changed. Okay.
Yep.
We just
Yep.
talking about that experience. Your name has changed. You went from just Marcus, PK. You went to same OG. You went to Elder Marcus Green. I mean, your name changed. It's different for everybody, but it's
It
not what it
is.
used to be. And a lot of
Right.
times people like to hold you in those places of where you used to be. And I tell people all the time, I'm not in high school no more. I'm not in my 20s no more. Yeah, the
Right.
foundational stuff in me is still changed, but I finally realized who I am and
That's it.
who I am. And I finally have grabbed onto purpose. And it's a beautiful thing to be in purpose. It's
That's
such
it.
a beautiful thing because it's like going to school. I changed my majors like 15 times. It's because I didn't understand my purpose. I didn't
Right.
know
Right.
what I wanted to do, and I ultimately did not fully understand the plan and the purpose for my life. So I want to
Right.
just encourage somebody out here. You have to grab hold to what you're supposed to be doing. It's okay with pushing the vision of others. It's okay to be a cheerleader in the background, but I truly believe that God is moving us forward into our own individual lanes,
Right.
and that's where
Right.
you're at. You're not trying to sing. You're not trying to open up a church and you're not trying to, do hair. You know
Right.
that you rap. That's your vein. So it's just a beautiful thing when you in that vein. Can you tell us a couple of people that you collaborated with and that you might want to collaborate with in the future?
Well, I've collaborated with a couple of local artists,
Oh,
Lamaris McSwain, Charlotte Chavers, China Mason on my Servant of God album.
mm-hmm.
Um, on the new project I'm working on, I got a few features coming up. Um, we haven't recorded it just yet, but we have some features coming up. But I would love one day to work with Canton Jones. That's one of
Oh my goodness. I
my things. We've actually had some discussions too. So hopefully God will open up that door, that avenue, in the near future. But yeah, I would love to do that. I love his style. I love his creativity,
mm-hmm.
and I just love kingdom minded people, man. It don't matter what you do for the Lord. If you kingdom minded, I can deal with
Gotcha. And that's what it's all about, a kingdom agenda. It doesn't matter
you.
what church we go to. It
Yeah,
doesn't
right.
matter any of that. And a kingdom agenda keeps me in the mind of I have to be priestly. I'm not I have to walk in a standard because God is holding me to a standard. So
Right,
when
right.
I love being around kingdom people, I feel like it's a tribe.
Yeah,
It's a tribe to be around like-minded
it
individuals
is.
who are trying to live better, do better, and
Yeah,
and just do things in a way that'll be pleasing to God. Because we ultimately want to have the characteristics of Christ.
right.
Um, Let me ask you this: if it wasn't besides music, what do you like doing? What interests you?
Well, I love working with young people. That's probably
Mm-hmm.
my biggest thing. Um, cause I did so much dirt and made so many mistakes as a young dude coming up. You know, a lot of bad decisions and choices I made. I have to emphasize that so people understand. I made choices. God didn't make me do it. The
Absolutely.
devil didn't make me do it. The devil presented opportunities, but it still was my choice whether I did that, whether I sold drugs, whether I got into this fight, whether I drunk this liquor, smoked this weed. All of it was my choice.
Right.
So I like to relate that to the young people that
Mm-hmm.
everything you do, y- if you're going to reach your destiny, it's based off the choices you make prior to getting to your destination. Because if you make the wrong choices, you'll never reach your destination the right way. But
Gotcha.
everything you do in life is a choice, So I like reaching back to my young people and trying to give them a roadmap so they can avoid some of the obstacles maybe that we encountered along the way.
Oh
And
yeah.
because I like to give them a scenario. If I walk down the street, bust trip over a rock and bust my head open, and I come back and tell you, hey, bro, listen, before you walk up that road, there's a big old rock up there you need to avoid. And if you go up there, you trip over that same rock and bust your head, I call him, I say, man, you a fool. You know that, right? I
Right.
just told you about
Hold
the
on.
rock. So, in other words, you need to take the advice of your elders or people who've done what you've done or trying to do, and if and they can help you avoid some things so you can be advance further faster than what they did. Like it might have took me 10 years to get to a certain destination. If you take my advice, it might take you 5 years. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? I get tired of hearing people say, well, sometimes they just got to go through it. No, they don't have to go through nothing. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to experience that bad stuff to understand what it really means. You can avoid it.
Exactly.
Sometimes they just gotta learn. No, once they get into it, they just gotta learn. But they
Mm-hmm.
don't have to get into it in the first place. So we gotta
That's
get out of that mindset that well, I ain't got to tell them nothing because they just no. You still need to tell them, and if they still choose the wrong way, that's their choice. But we got to be more bold these days because they're bold with their actions. You got more young people die. You got more young people killing each other. Gun violence up among young people. You know what I'm saying? So we got to step up and be bold and hold up the standard.
that's it. And a lot of people think, especially older people, they say, "Well, I can't tell this person nothing. They're not gonna listen to their heart. They don't listen to
Right,
nobody. They just
right.
sashay around here. They come to church and they skirts too short. They do this, they do that. They cuss. They don't have no respect. They light up reefer and cigarettes around.
Yeah,
They just act so common. But I want to, just put out a petition that we still need the older crowd to enlighten the younger crowd. Even like me and you, we might be in our 30s, 40s, but we still have to let them know because we still have an obligation. We still have a moral obligation to get these people on the right path. And the youth is the next generation. You know,
Yes, sir.
so we have to keep them encouraged. We have to let them know. I done been there. I
Got
might
to.
be
Got
older
to.
now. I might be laid back now. I might just go to work and come home now. But I remember when I was in the streets. I remember when I
Right.
was at the moon.
Right.
I used
Right.
to put my kids in the bed at 10 o'clock. I be to the moon at 11. I leave out the moon at 2. I
Yeah.
stand in the parking lot from 2 to 4. I go to Waffle House from 4 to 6. I go home,
Right.
take a shower, and get to work like ain't nothing happened. I remember.
Right.
Now my
Right.
children, they had like they say, oh, she lame, she
Yeah.
whatever. No, been there, done
Been there,
that.
done that. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I have been there, done that, and I just got to petition us older crowd that we still have an
Yep.
obligation to tell them, hey, let me talk to you
That's
for a
right.
minute.
That's
You need
right.
to, you still need to be relatable, and you still need to
Right.
have a not an attitude like, oh, they just not. No, you got to be relatable, because even though
Right.
it might not be your child, we still are we're still a family. It still takes
That's
a
right.
village to raise these
That's
children,
right.
and you
That's
don't
right.
know about your testimony, how it can impact that
That's it.
that child. You
That's
know,
what
and
I was
you
gonna
don't know
say.
what these children gonna be. You don't know if they're gonna be a president, a surgeon. You don't know if they're
Right.
gonna be the next judge. You don't know what they're gonna be. So you still have a more obligation to reach out. Each one reach one.
That's right.
That's what.
Cause God gonna hold you accountable not for what you He gonna hold you accountable for what you did or didn't do, not for how they responded to what you said or
Right.
did. So he's gonna ask you if you said something to him, not, well, I know they weren't gonna listen. No, no, no. He holding you accountable if you said it or not. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And we got to stop wanting to hide our testimonies or be ashamed of them, because you never know who needs to hear what you've dealt with or been through. You know what I'm saying? I could tell them, yeah, I used to drink a filthy Henny, the Grey Goose, all that, be tore up to the floor up. Don't know how I got home from the club and ready to
Mm-hmm.
do it again the next night. And, just looking for false hope and false happiness through the wrong things, smoking weed and all that. Yeah, I can tell them about that. I ain't ashamed of it because I know he delivered me from it. And somebody else may be struggling with that too
Mm-hmm.
and need to know how to be delivered from it. But you over there, well, I don't want nobody to know my past. I don't want nobody to know what I do. Yeah, I've been arrested a few times. Yeah, I almost had a gun charge on me. Yeah, I almost had all this. Yeah, but God, I'm here right now, sitting in front of you. So that tells me God delivered me from some stuff. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So it may be a thug out there need to hear that testimony. It may be an ex dopehead need to hear that, ex drug dealer need to hear. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might need to hear that. Say, you might not hit all 20. It might be just 3 in the crowd that hit it. But
That's
you
it.
got somebody. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. Now I know you wrote a lot of music. What's one of your favorite songs that you like to really perform that really get
Whew,
you?
probably probably all of them I'd say, but Takeover probably the one right now that's just because God got like, I know He has an anointing on all my music because He gave it to me, but it's something about Takeover when I perform it. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a unction to the crowd, so to speak. Like, look, I'm talking to the saints. It's time for us, to stand up. It's time for us to do this. It's time for
Mm-hmm.
us to take over. Stop sitting down. So it's one of the songs that just get me hyped and the crowd hyping. I think once we finish doing it, people be ready to, hey, let's go now. What do you want to do? Let's go hit the
Right.
street now. Let's go hit the corner now. Let's go witness
Let's
now.
go
So
evangelize right now.
right, you know what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
So I love performing Takeover Remix. I love the message that he gave me for it, and and that's just my real anthem for the next few years. It's time for the real saints to take over.
And I believe that with the pandemic and everything happening in 2020, 2020 is just one of those years that I would
Yeah,
never, ever, ever, ever forget. I mean,
yeah,
I just never forget it. I mean,
mhm.
I can catch Alzheimer's right now. I ain't gonna forget 2020. Okay? It's been a year of tragedy and a year for birthing and a year of
Right,
a
right,
lot of
right.
things for a lot. It hit everybody. It hit
Listen,
everybody.
I started the year off bad because, well, in December 2019 is when I had my car accident. Where my near fatal car accident where the doctor said I was supposed to have been dead or paralyzed.
Right.
So I was already on quarantine before
Before it
COVID
even
hit
got
because I was
quarantined.
already on bed rest from like January up until May, June. Couldn't
Hmm.
walk, couldn't do none of that. But God still provided throughout the year. It was a blessing in disguise because being on bed rest, I ain't had to deal with no COVID stuff out the door. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
but God just spared my life. And He's done so much for me. So I tell people, why not go hard for Him? You know what I'm saying? Because
Why not? You owe God. We all owe God a praise,
Yeah,
but
you
you
know what I'm
owe God
saying?
a praise.
I own. And you know, I have to tell people I don't tell my story for you to get excited and praise
Mm,
with me. I just so you can get a better understanding of why I go like I go. Now, if you want to help me praise him, if you want to join in, hey, I'm down for that. But I ain't telling you to help me. I'm telling you so you can understand a little bit. So you won't be looking so crazy. Like, man, he going ham, man. He going wild. Yeah, because you don't know what God done brought me through. You know what I'm saying? I ain't supposed to be walking as good as I'm walking right now. I ain't supposed to be sitting up like
mhm,
I'm sitting up right now. I ain't supposed to be alive, bro.
mhm.
So you can miss me with all that. Why he got to do all? They don't take all that. It might not
Hey,
take all that for you. It take all that and more for me.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, like it does. Like people, you look at people even look at me and they say, "Oh, she's smiling all the time. She got it together."
Right,
But you
right.
don't know, they don't know my story. And if I would
That
tell
don't
it, you'll be like, "Oh my God." You know, a lot of people don't look like what they've been through, but sometimes when
right,
we
right.
unction, we definitely have to tell our story because it could keep somebody from the
That's
places
it.
that we have been through. And I
That's it.
know that near fatal car accident that you went through, I know that testimony is keeping people. They might get in that car and they be like, man, this man just told me about this accident. Man, I need to slow down. I need to obey the laws of the world. I need to get myself together. You hear me? Because that
Yeah.
could have been me. That could have been anybody. That could have been
Yeah.
anybody, but that's your personal testimony, so you could share to get people to thinking. Listen, it
Right.
ain't about all this other stuff. It's about
Life
God
too
put
short.
you through that to get your attention. Any test, any trial is to get your attention. And you know what attention he needed to get from you. That's you, that's personal, that's between you and God. But in general, we go through tests and storms, tribulations for God to
Right.
get our attention. This whole live, I pray it's getting somebody's attention because
Also.
listen, you never know what people are going through. You never know what people are going to experience. But
Right.
through the power of your testimony, things change, things shift. I want to ask you, what is the best advice you've been given? What holds true to you about what somebody has told you along the way?
The best advice I was given, and now that I also give out the same advice,
Mm-hmm.
just no matter what it is, keep God first and stay prayed up. I mean, you got to think about it. If you put him first, that means he's over your life. That means you're gonna pretty much do everything that he tells you to do, or
Mm-hmm.
summons you to do, or petitions you to do. So all the other stuff will fall in line if he's first. And if you
Right.
stay prayed up, that means you got a open line of communication, always open to him, so he can hear you and you can hear him. So long as you got those two things in order, the rest of it is gonna fall in place like it should be.
Right.
Keep him first, stay prayed up. You know what I'm saying? Always.
That's it. If you could change anything about the music industry, that Christian rap scene, what would you think it'd be?
Uh Something that I thought I'd never see because I'm new to the industry as far as Christian industry. I knew about it in the secular because that's just how it is. That's the world. But
Mm-hmm.
the competitiveness and jealousy, the jealousy and the competitiveness within the gospel music industry is crazy.
Ooh.
And it got me to thinking, like, if we're all doing ministry, we should be supporting each other. No matter, I'm not intimidated by how good you sing or how good you rap or how good you preach or any of that, because it's not a competition to me. It's about me supporting you, sharing whatever you're doing, because I know you're trying to reach souls like I'm trying to reach souls.
Is
So
that
if I could change that, it's some people that really have some issues with the competitiveness and enviousness within the gospel industry, which is crazy. And that'd be probably be the biggest thing I'd change, because I'm like, man, we all trying to do kingdom work. We all gonna be saying before the same judge when it's all said and done. You know what I'm
right?
saying? We all got the same commandments. You know what I'm saying? So what a problem at?
Yeah, and I believe that the enviness and the jealousy, I believe that's in any industry. Whether
Yeah,
it
it
be
is.
ministry, whether it be at your job, I
It
mean, whether
is.
it be just your neighbors in competition. I remember one time I went and bought a flag to put out in the front of my yard, a little garden flag. Next thing you know, my neighbor them when it got some flags too. I mean, it's crazy thing, but
Yeah,
it's just the way of the world, and that carnal mind transfers over to kingdom.
right.
And we just have to be renewed daily, as the Bible says. We got to refresh our minds. We have to really stay prayed up and just really move forward. This month's series on my show is Chill and Don't Look Back. If you could say something to that phrase, what would it be?
Man, look, just chill. Like God say, be still and let the Lord fight your battle. You know what I'm saying? Just chill. He got it. Ain't no need to look back and stressing and worry about. Well, listen, the same God that took care of the last 3 months when you was stressing over that bill, that car payment, that whatever the case may be, he's the same God this month. So you know if he did it before, as Ty Tribbett said, he could do it again. So especially as saints, we should always. I tell people, don't forget to remember. No, don't dwell on it, but don't forget to remember that he brought you out. You know what I'm saying before. So just chill and don't look back. He got it.
That's it. And a lot of times we like the Bible says, you know, the man's wife, she turned into a pillar of salt. You know, a lot of times we get a lot of times the preacher is in church and they say, well, just close your eyes and think about it. Listen, don't even look back, because you might transform back. You just need to close your eyes and think about all those storms and where you are now and say, listen, I'm motivated to keep on running. I'm motivated to press towards the mark for the price of the high calling. Listen, the world don't owe me nothing.
Not a thing.
Owe God everything. Because let me tell you, I tell people all the time, they say, oh, you know, you so nice, you so that. I say, I'm glad you got me now, because years ago I was something else. I'm telling you, I've been changed. I've been redeemed. Okay,
that's it.
Because I'm telling you, you wouldn't want nothing. Okay, the mind. I'm telling you. So a lot of times we think that we need to look back, and we need to just think that. Don't look back. Just think back.
Just think back. That's it.
You thinking back is your motivation to never even turn around. Okay. Forward is the movement. Forward is truly the movement. If people want to get in touch with you, they want you to perform, they want to know where your music is, how can they get connected to Marcus Green, aka Same OG?
Okay. Well, if you want to find all my music, you know, my videos, that type of thing, I tell people, first and foremost, you can always Google Marcus Green, aka Same OG. Everything will come up. But it's on all my music's on YouTube, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon. It's on every digital media platform. Just type in Same OG, SAMEOLG. No apostrophe, just SAMEOLG. You know, I have a project out, Servant of God, which is my first gospel hip hop album, which dropped 2019. Then I have 3 singles that are out. Keep Pushing, which is on Tricep Sounds Music Group and Sony Music Group compilation album called I Am Gospel 4, the Holy Hip Hop Edition. Then I have Feel My Pain, and I also have Coronavirus. So you can type in anything: Coronavirus by Same OG, Feel My Pain by Same OG, Keep Pushing by Same OG, or Servant of God by Same OG. All my stuff will come up on every digital media platform. And if you want to book me, you can email me at thesameog, THESAMEOLG @gmail.com, or the number 850-270-7149. Right now I'm only taking bookings for events that are only following CDC guidelines. So if you ain't wearing a mask, I tell them my motto: if you ain't wearing a mask, don't ask. I ain't coming.
That's it.
But you know, whatever doors God open up for me, I'm always willing to walk through, because I know he has somebody there he wants me to get a message to. So that's the same OG @gmail.com, 850-270-7149. And it'll be a God-ordained experience. I promise you won't forget.
Gotcha. Well, I heard you was a part of this award nomination. So what's going on with
that? You know, I'm such a humble guy. I don't really, you know, talk about my accolades like that. I like to post them so people
talk about it today. That's an accomplishment. We're gonna talk about it.
I like to post it so people can see what God is doing in my life, because they can see the journey that He's got me on. But you know, it's a great privilege and honor just to be nominated for things. I still tell people I'd rather win a soul than an award, but you know, it's great to be recognized among your peers. And right now, I've been nominated for I think 6-7 different awards. The Praise Factor Awards, the Gospel Hip Hop Awards, Gospel Choice Music Awards, Voices of Gospel Music Awards, the S&M Indie Gospel Awards, Tampa Bay Gospel Awards. It's just a blessing, man, that you know that the ministry is having an impact where people would consider me enough to nominate me. So I'm so grateful and humbled by it. You know, if people can, they can vote. If not, you know, just keep praying for me. But all that information you can find it on all my social media. On Facebook is you know, the same OG. You can find me on same OG or Marcus Green. Instagram same OG. You know, Twitter same OG. So you can find all that information on my pages. If you want to vote and support us, we're just trying to. I just ask God to increase my territory so I can reach more lives. You know, however He does it. I you know, I can't worry about how He does it. I just got to be ready to walk in how He does it. So
like
I can't.
Trying to provoke a soul, and that's just so humbling in itself. And that's why God is going to exalt you. That's why He's going to take you up higher and higher and higher, because of your humbleness and your servantness. You know, a servant leader. I tell people it's the best leader. The Bible says the greatest in the kingdom is a servant. So listen, humble is the way, and pride come before the fall. You already know this. You already know this. This is what you know. This is what we do. So you already know this, but somebody else needs to hear that, because we don't need to be proud. We don't need to be puffed up. Let God do the exalting. But I had to have you say that now, because that's something real big. That's the ultimate accomplishment, and that's something not only for you, but for the people behind you, for your DNA, for your children, for your city, for your parents. That is an accomplishment. I want to thank you so much for taking out 38 minutes of your time to just come on and bless this platform and let people know who you are, what you're doing, what you're about. I thank you for the transparency. I know that somebody was touched, somebody was encouraged, they might have even been nosy, but guess what? That's your testimony. Can't nobody say it like you can. That's what I tell people. Can't nobody say it like me. Just ask me. And I can just get to you raw, unfiltered, however we need to go. But just ask me. Can't nobody tell it like I can, what God has brought me from. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me, and God bless everybody. If I have any people that tune in, I can't see the bottom, so thank you to everybody that tuned in, that support me. And if you just now wanted to support me, I appreciate you, and God bless you too.
All right, you have a good day.
All right, you do the same.
Listen, today, exclusive interview with Elder Marcus Green, aka Same OG. If you all didn't know who he was, today you should know by this interview. Today you should know his testimony, what he's about. Today he spilled his heart to encourage somebody, to empower somebody to execute now. You all know that's my quote, that's my phrase. Without an execution, without a death, without a forgetting of the old ways, you can't thrust forward. You have to be around the right crowd, the right company. You have to watch who's in your ear, so you could have that forward thinking and that forward mobility. Listen, he let you guys know that he's a nominee for I believe the Tampa Bay Awards. You can go to his social media, connect with him, vote for him. Not only that, book him. God has purposely put that passion in his for Christian rap. A young person, an older person, a middle-aged person, the dogs, cats, the pews need to hear his history. Okay, so book him. He is available. Like he said, he's going by CDC guidelines. No mask, no performance. Okay, you guys be blessed. I want you to thank each and every one of you all for coming on and being a virtual seat filler on today with Lady K, where we motivate you to move forward. We motivate you to be in the now. We motivate you and encourage you that you're not the only one going through. Other people have trials, tribulation, burdens, but they have overcome and they are walking in victory and they are a living, breathing testimony. Listen, if you want to be on this platform, inbox me, call me, let me know. Somebody needs to hear your story. Somebody needs to know what you're doing. You need to promote your business. Get in touch with me. And always remember to execute now. My ebook is still out on executenow2020.com, where you can get the ebook or you could get the t-shirt to let you know that looking back is not going to do anything for you. You think back, but you move forward and you execute now. You all be blessed.